Saturday. I am back for another episode of the Homeschool Neighborhood. So today we are going to talk about extracurriculars in the homeschool, specifically art study. Welcome to the Homeschool Neighborhood. It's my live show where I like to share things we're doing in our homeschool. And if you have a question, go to happystronghome.com/ask. If you have a homeschool question, you can put your homeschool question in, and some Saturday morning you and I can talk live on Facebook and I will answer your question. Or if you have an awesome resource that you've created to share, then we'll talk about that and we'll share it, because the Homeschool Neighborhood is all about sharing our resources and experiences. I've seen a lot of questions lately about how to work in extracurriculars, what to use, and I want to go through a couple of things that we've used in our homeschool regarding art study. I am not an artist. On occasion, I doodle in my children's piano notebooks, and it's not good and it's not pretty. I've never been very good at art. I'm a word person, so getting my hands to draw the things is not my expertise. I have two boys who love to draw and are pretty good at it, in my opinion. I think that they do a good job. So I really try to encourage art study in our homeschool because I see their potential, and that is something that I particularly focus on. I want to go through some of the art curriculums that we've used and share those with you and give you ideas for your homeschool. One of the first things we did for art study in our homeschool was when we joined Classical Conversations. As part of that co-op, you study art twice during the year. You study drawing for 6 weeks and you study great artists for 6 weeks. I want to talk a little bit about great artists and Classical Conversations, which is project-based study. And in this study, my kids did 6 weeks of learning elements of drawing, like shape and perspective and mirror image, which is all about symmetry. And then they spent 6 weeks studying great artists. We used this book, Discovering Great Artists, which is hands-on project-based art study. So the kids would learn all about a great artist and their methods, and then they would practice by creating a project. So my kids got to do some really wonderful art projects, things like working with resist and painting with different mediums. We did watercolors, we did acrylics, we've done colored pencils, and all sorts of genres get studied that way, because you take a look at an artist, how they did it, and then you do it. I really liked this for a very hands-on approach. It's messy, and I'm glad we did it in a co-op, because I probably wouldn't have had the wherewithal to gather all those materials and do those projects at home on my own. But I love this book. It's very easy to use and simple. It gives a little blurb about the artist. It talks about their technique, and then it gives you a project to do and step-by-step instructions. Another program that we used was called Art Achieve. Artachieve.com is online video lessons. You can see here the sample lessons, which you could try out for free. This is another thing I recommend when you're going to do some art study with your kids, is that most places have a free or sample lesson that you can try. Go try it with your kids and see how they respond to it. Now, one of the things I really loved about Art Achieve was that they take a cultural approach, and they have a lot of connection pieces. They give you a culturally appropriate piece of art to inspire you, to inspire the concept. For example, we did a project on tessellations, and they showed some Roman artwork, and they discussed the origins of the word tessellations. And then they also make musical connections, and they give you some time to study some artwork, and then you practice it. So you understand the concept, and then you do the concept. It was a little challenging when I had a 5-year-old, but we had a lot of fun, and we still did the work. There's a lot of cross-curricular connections, like talking about geography. They give you links and resources and even printables to use in your study. And the lessons take about 10 or 15 minutes. These are just the sample lessons you're looking at. You can see there's some drawing, some shading, some chalk pastel, and some abstract art. I would highly recommend hopping over there and trying Art Achieve. Then another one we used was artisticpursuits.com. And this program, at the time that I used it, they were only hard copy lessons in a spiral notebook. I actually have that notebook right here. We used the K through 3 notebook, and you would go through and do the lessons, and there'd be a lesson section and then some instructions. They have different programs like kindergarten, ancient art, Middle Ages, American Studies, Italian Renaissance, drawing with graphite pencils, watercolor pencils. You can now get artistic pursuits as the hard copy book or as online video lessons, which when you pay for, you use them for 2 years. I liked artistic pursuits because I loved that you would look at master artists and study them and then create your own art. And that covered a wide range of art concepts and skills. For instance, they talk about line, shape, forms, color, using space, using texture, how to outline shapes, how to make landscapes and portraits. You can even buy art supply packs from them if you want the whole packed curriculum, and you can use it with multiple students. The next one I want to talk about, the last one, we're almost done. We've been using this actually for maybe more than 2 years, but the one that we turn to the most often, and that is chalk pastel art. I love chalk pastel art with Nana, and you can find them at chalkpastel.com. And one of the things I love about chalk pastel art with Nana is that sometimes they offer live events with Nana. And then the videos are of Nana. She's this grandmotherly figure, and she teaches the kids how to draw with chalk pastels. She is so gentle and encouraging, and you really feel like she is talking right to your kids. My kids love taking lessons with Nana. With chalkpastel.com, you actually get this real human experience, and that is why I love chalk pastel for my kids. But I want to show you a couple things that they have. The video classes where you're seeing a person demonstrate the art step by step with your kids, and they can copy it. She tells them what colors to use, and she goes stroke by stroke through the artwork. I'm going to show you the newest thing that they have that I just love, and that is this art lesson calendar. I love the art lesson calendar. So here is chalkpastel.com. You are an artist is a blessing that Nana says over every student, and she tells them that they are artists. It's so loving. My kids really respond well to Nana's art lessons. It's a membership program, or you can buy units. So you can buy a unit on history or birds or preschool lessons, or you can buy a membership and get all the lessons. She has almost 800 lessons in their lesson bank. And they also do these live events where Nana is on live with them. My kids just did one of her live events the other day. They did this beautiful Valentine woodpecker. So step by step, Nana goes through the art lessons and teaches them how to draw this. This is my oldest sons, and then this is my youngest sons. You can kind of see the difference in their ages and expertise already. But the art calendar, it's phenomenal because you can find a lesson for every day. Here we are in February. They are doing a big bird study in February, which perfectly matches my own bird study that I've written that we do with the kids. And I didn't plan that, it just happened. And so on February 1st was a chalk pastel bird overview. You can, of course, do any of these lessons at any time. Groundhog Day on the 2nd, James Audubon. Then we have Abraham Lincoln's birthday. We have President's Day, George Washington, and then a run of presidents for President's Week. I love that they have organized their lessons according to this calendar. It makes it wonderful if you as a parent are like, I totally forgot to plan something for President's Day. What can we do? I just popped on chalkpastel.com and we do an art lesson with Nana for presidents. She talks about the president a little bit while she's helping them draw the art. And the kids get both artwork and a little nugget of history or facts about that topic, whether it's birds or history or groundhogs. And they get this very gentle lesson that helps you celebrate the day. And they've got this calendar for the whole year. What I love about that is that any day that I'm short on something, I need a little something extra, I can hop over to Chalk Pastel Art, sit my kids down with a piece of paper and some chalk pastels, and give them that 15-20 minute of art study. Even if it doesn't tie into the lessons that I'm using that day, it ties into the time of year or a holiday or something that we might be studying. I can either pick from the calendar or I can go into their themed units. This year we're studying US history and geography, and they have geography lessons, math lessons, and they have American art lessons. Or if my kids want to do some art, I let them pick any lesson and they pick something they want to draw. They have things like Star Wars lessons, painting Star Wars. The lesson variety is absolutely astounding. Step-by-step directions, explaining techniques, It's very relaxing. Nana is encouraging and warm, and you can have a lesson for every day of the year. This is what I love about Chalk Pastel Art, and chalkpastel.com is the art program I'm primarily using this year to study art. And we do that at least once a week, sometimes more. Again, it's flexible with your schedule because you can do a video at any point. They do have a lot of free lessons on their YouTube channel, so I recommend always before trying an extracurricular program to try a sample lesson and see how it fits. And I do recommend the Chalk Pastel Clubhouse membership because you get all the lessons, you get the live events, and it's for the whole year for all of your kids. I'm going to be leaving a link below, and you can sign up if you want to do that, or again, try their free lessons. So if you have any questions, leave it in the comments, or you can hop over to my blog post. I hope that this has helped give you some ideas for what's out there as far as extracurricular art study. If you have some art study that you've done with your kids that you've enjoyed, share them in the comments. Love to hear it. We are always on the lookout for new programs to use with my kids. If you have a homeschool question and you are wondering about something about homeschool, whether it's extracurricular or a problem you're experiencing in your homeschool, scheduling, planning, dealing with some issue or another, or you're wondering what to do next, go to happystronghome.com/ask. You can ask your question. I will get back to you and we can plan a time to talk live in person. Stay tuned on Facebook, Twitter at Happy Strong Home. You can follow along on Instagram and YouTube at Julie Kiris, and you can read more on the blog, happystronghome.com, where I have homeschool resources. I have reviews of homeschool curriculums. I have principles for your homeschool. Right now, I have a bird study for February, and you can go download that. I have a Valentine printable, Conversation Hearts. You can download that for free. I hope that you stay tuned for future episodes of the Homeschool Neighborhood. I hope this has helped you out, and I will see you next week.